Next Sunday is the last Sunday that we have on the calendar here. And it's going to be a different kind of Sunday. 'Cause I'm just going to tell you, all right, we're going to worship Jesus. And we're going to have communion. That's our entire time together. We're going to lift up the name of the Lord. I encourage you to be here. All right? But what that means is this might possibly be the last time I preach on this stage. And if that's the case, there's some things I want to say before I'm done. Okay? First one is this. I want to say a huge thank you to our teams. And to everybody who has made ministry happen here. Can we give it up for our dream team? Yeah. So many men and women make church happen here every Sunday morning. They set up the stage that you're looking at. They poured your coffee this morning. They're watching your kids right now. And I can tell you, our church wouldn't happen without them. And I wouldn't want it to. The blessing of God that I've been able to enjoy as a result of being here, and I've heard this from so many of you, is, man, we get to connect and fellowship like we never have. We're setting up lights together, or we're unloading the trailer together, like doing stuff together as a church has absolutely amplified our community, and we're stronger for it. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for each of you. And I'm also thankful for the Cape District. You know why? Because they didn't have to give us any time here. And I believe that I think most people are just trying to do their jobs. They're trying to best do what's entrusted to them. And so this moment is a gift. And I will be thankful for it. And then the question becomes, okay, well, but what happens if we do things, or things go the way that we don't want them to go? Well, I told you this when we first told you what was going on, and I'm going to tell you again. I don't ever want us to be the church that pitches a fit when we don't get our way. I don't want that for you. I don't want this to be a thing for you where, okay, you know what, like, so-and-so did us wrong, or so-and-so inconvenienced us, and okay, we spent all this money on being here, and we've tried to, be as accommodating as we can to try and work something out, and it feels like we're getting slapped in the face. What I never want you to do is to be like, we're going to go blast so-and-so to the Gazette, or hey, lawyer up. That's just not us. That's not us. This is what the Scripture encourages us to do when we encounter setbacks and we encounter difficulties. Romans 12, verse 17 says this, do not repay anyone evil for evil, but be careful to do right in the eyes of everyone. How we handle ourselves is we will do our best to bless those that we disagree with, because that means doing right by everyone, even those with whom we disagree. And it continues. It says, do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath. For it's written, it's mine to avenge, I will repay, says the Lord. Okay, so you know what we don't do? Okay, man, so-and-so was mean, and so did this or did that. What we don't do is start like going out there and naming names, and we don't start like launching campaigns to do this or that. No, what we do is we trust ourselves to God's hand. He's the one who works it out. That's how this goes. All right? Like, I trust that my God, who sees every single part of this, who sees every moment of this season, nobody overpowers him. Nobody takes me out of his hand. Nobody takes you out of his hand. We trust the outcome to him. That's how we do this. And so the scriptural standard for Christians, what we're going to do, goes forward in verse 20. On the contrary, if your enemy is hungry, you feed him. And if he's thirsty, give him something to drink. It says, in doing this, you will heap burning coals on his head. Let me explain that before you think it's wrath. They would take coals and put them in towels. Like the idea is that like the warmth of that would warm the person's mind or warm their heart, and so they would be melted in their hostility towards you. Which is why consistently, verse 21 says this, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. I would point out to you in this story that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, even though they're being threatened to be thrown into a fire, at no point do they look at Nebuchadnezzar and be like, listen, bozo. That's not what they do. O king, let us explain to you. They give him respect, even though he's threatening their lives. That's what we're going to do. I don't want you going to the Gazette or the News Journal. No, I want you to be quiet and to pray and to trust yourself to God. That's what I want for you and for me. Like what I want for us, let me just explain something, okay? If this is it, okay? if the 28th is our last Sunday here, let me tell you what we're going to do on the 29th. When we have no stake in it. When there's no, hey, like it benefits us. No, let me tell you what we're going to do. We're going to bring breakfast to the staff here. Okay, and then you know what I'm going to do? I'm personally going to write a thank you card to every person in the cabinet of the district for allowing us to have the time that we've had. Okay, you know why? Because that's how Jesus says it's done. And I don't believe that those who disagree with me are my enemies. I don't believe that. I think we've got a misunderstanding. But what I'm not going to do is alienate somebody from Christ for the sake of my own pride. So what are we going to do? We're going to take it. And you know what? We'll be stronger for it and we'll be better for it. Why? Because that's who God is. There's never been a season where we've been lost in his sight. There's never been a moment where he wasn't working something out on our behalf. So what we will do is we will respond in Christ-like manner. And if you don't, we're going to have words. Because that's how Jesus said it should be done. He'll put Bert. Don't you know, like it's going to really, really stink for us. Like, look at, like, you know, all that we've invested in being here and we've worked so hard and like, you know. And I would remind you of the scriptures again. 1 Peter 2, verse 21, to this you were called because Christ suffered for you, leaving you an example that you should follow in his steps. Okay, well, what kind of example did Christ leave for us? He clarifies, verse 22. He committed no sin, and no deceit was found in his mouth. Do I think we've done any wrong by being here? No, I don't. No, I don't. But look at what Jesus did when no wrong was done on his part. Verse 23, look at this. When they hurled their insults at him, he did not retaliate. Soak in that for a moment. When Jesus, literally, his blood is being poured out on the cross, they're accusing him of things he hasn't done. They're making fun of him as he's dying. And at no point is he like, I'm going to say something to you. When they hurled their insults at him, he did not retaliate. And when he suffered, he made no threats. That's why we're not lawyering up. Okay, you didn't give me what I want. Well, listen, I'm going to call my attorneys, and I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to make your life miserable. No, that's because that's not what Jesus is like.